So, hey, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Well, it's a little snowy here, but we are smiling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I had a phone call this morning with Lynn Franklin, and they were at 5 inches on their way to 10. And she made 2 comments this morning that I thought were so great that I had to share with all of you who are in the white stuff. And she said, well, first of all, she was really grateful because when she had to let the dog out at 5 this morning, the snow did reflect the light that was there, and she could see where he had gone potty because the white was so easy to see. Okay, now that's something to be grateful for. And then the other comment was, and I was just so grateful that snow wasn't black. She said, I'm so glad snow is white. And I never thought of that. Did you ever think of what it would be like if snow was black? How awful would that be?
I don't think that would work for me either. I actually do think when the sun hits it, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that when the light comes up and just glitters off of it, sparkles. So that's your gratitude thing for the day of snow.
I love it.
And after 10 minutes of looking at that, I'm over it.
I'm over it. Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and Grace, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Do like your 1 minute, and then we'll have Chiquita and go from there.
All right. Well, my name is Grace Strawn, and I am a customer retention specialist with Send Out Cards. I help my clients to keep their clients and to help increase their referral and repeat revenue. I live in Overland Park, and I'm loving the snow because I'm a Canadian, transplanted Canadian. And what I do is I help spread gratitude and make gratitude a habit.
That is awesome. And I've been a receiver of those send out cards, and it is so nice. It's just a great thing to get that little smile or little something that just, it does. It just makes you feel good to not get bills and newspapers or all that junky stuff. So very good. That's awesome. Okay, Chiquita, what about you? We're not seeing you, but we sure are glad you're here.
Well, I'm definitely with this. Glad to be seen and not viewed. Definitely glad that I can make it. Very challenging season in my family's life with my father's health, but I am eternally grateful for each and every day. My name is Chiquita Leak with Chic Images and Professional Stylist. I am an image consultant and a professional stylist. My job is really to help my clients elevate themselves to actually become their best selves professionally and in their wardrobes. I tailor make all of my programs for my individual clients, and have to say, shout out to Linda. After our meeting yesterday, had a divine appointment with Shauna and was able to help her that day and that weekend get her closets transitioned to her new home. So Fun Fearless Females, we don't just network with one another, we're there to serve one another. And I am there to serve any one of our members locally and or long distance.
That is awesome. Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
One of those little examples of networking really working.
Yeah.
And we all know it does. But yeah, thank you, Chiquita. And again, thank you for last month when you were our Wow Wednesday gal. So we really appreciate that. It was great. So we all just know and love Cathy Weaver. She's going to be doing our talk today. And so Cathy, I'm going to, in a second, turn it over to you to introduce yourself, because I know you always do in part of your program. But I want you to know, Cathy lives out everything she says. She is a woman of her word. If she says she's going to show up someplace, she does. In 5 years, I think it's been, Cathy, 4 or 5, something like that. You have never once not showed up and done what you said. That is an amazing thing that I do not see everywhere. And and the big part of that, I know, is the fact of how consistent she is in her business, in her life, and everything that she does, and what a big difference that is. So she is the perfect person to talk to you about how consistency can make that difference. So Cathy, I love you. I'm so glad you're here, and turn it over to you.
I appreciate that very much. Before I begin, however, I think if there's any people left on the planet who haven't met you yet, what would you like to say about Delinda Lane?
Oh, you always turn it back around. Well, I am on a mission to touch 1 million women's lives, and that we're doing that through Fun Fearless Female. God just given the vision that we need to connect and reach out and support each other even more than we're already doing. So that's what I'm on. I'm on that mission this year, and I love doing that as well. I am a speaker, so whether I do one-on-one or in a small group, on a Zoom, or on a large auditorium convention, I am speaking truth and speaking choices, that women have choices in their lives. Delinda.
You're a very beautiful example of that, actually, and I am blessed to be part of this team. And I get to watch your numbers grow every single week, actually, for the Fun, Fearless Female Global Community of Christian Women, because I do feel that we do need a platform, and you're providing that. So thank you already for doing that. All right, my friends, consistency is my word. For several years now, I have chosen a word of the year to either focus on, which means work on it, or to observe. It is something that I have attempted to perfect and accomplish. And when my challenge for the year came up, what's your word for 2022? I have been teaching, training, helping people grow in a lot of social media platforms. And one of the first things I have noticed is lack of consistency. I'm not having very good luck with my this, or I'm not very good with my something, or whatever the comments have been. And so I stalk people. It's my job. And when I stalk, I realize, what if you tweaked this, or what if you changed that, or what if you added up? And I have seen that consistency plays a huge role, I feel, not only in our success journeys, but definitely in our daily lives. And just like when people say things like, honey, you know, that networking stuff you talk about, it really doesn't work. I'm here to say consistency in networking eventually, not instant probably, sometimes it's instant for people, but eventually the relationship you built with someone is going to speak volumes for your success, either by networking or certainly by selling your product or service. And I think it's a matter of giving up too quickly, maybe stagnating in your learning techniques, increasing your skill levels, whatever that looks like. And if people stop learning, in my personal opinion, they stop growing. And that breaks my heart, because I feel if people continued to learn, grow, stretch, push a button, reach, whatever that looks like, it would increase their efficacy times a million. And that is part of my mission, if you will. And when consistency came into my brain, I went, oh my gosh. And I know that's also your word for this year, Delinda. We hadn't even discussed it, which cracks me up. And thanks to Karen Higgins, she puts those words for us on cards that she sends out. That helps me so much from a standpoint of reminder, but it also helps me realize if I've made a commitment that is important enough to be put on a card, then I, by golly, better stick to the word. And so what is your word for this year? What is your word for this year? Do you have a word for this year? What are you choosing to accomplish with your word for this year? And that is the piece that I have found is such a big role to play for people, because all of a sudden, well, let's talk about the new year. The first thing people do if they're doing a New Year's resolution, revelation, realignment, whatever you call it, if you do a New Year's something, many times on that list, let's say even if you have 5 things on that list, somewhere is going to be drink more water, eat healthier, go to the gym, have something to do with the health and wellness journey. And guess what? Consistency matters in that arena as well. So for people who are personal trainers, you are swamped in January. You're okay busy in February, and perhaps not so much for the rest of the year. And consistency is such a big word. And I have found for me, if I remain consistent, my stress level is down, because it's a comfort zone knowing, okay, I've got 12 groups today, I can do all 12. I've got 5 groups today, I can do all 5. I've got 1 group today, I can get through it. Whatever your schedule looks like, and people say, I'm busy, I don't have enough hours in the day. Well, that is a lovely statement, I suppose. But the last time I checked, we all have the same number. And if something is taking up too much of your time, consistently place it on the back burner or on the next page of your calendar, are you ever going to get to it? So consistently, do you procrastinate? Think about that part. Consistently, do you procrastinate? I don't have time to this. I don't have time to that. How many times do you say that? You talked about this actually Tuesday on your call, Delinda. I can't remember names. Well, by golly, you can't. You say it all the time. You can't. I'm always late. Well, keep saying that, because by golly, you are always late. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm old, I'm whatever the deal is. Keep saying that. It's really going to be your DNA if you keep saying it. And I actually had this happen. I said something, and I really don't remember what the topic was, but I said, join a chamber of commerce or meet 5 new people today. There's 200 people in the room. Pick 5 and meet those that you don't already know. And the lady I was working with at the time said, I can't do that. And I said, I'm sorry, what did you say? And she said, I can't do that. And I leaned in like this and I said, I'm sorry, honey, what did you say? And she goes, like, I'm deaf or something. And she goes, I can't do that. And I said, okay, fine. You've now said it 3 times. In my opinion, that's a declaration. So you are correct. You cannot meet 5 new people today. Well, wait a minute. I didn't mean I couldn't. And I said, well, you said you can't do that. So to me, what you say, you bring about, what you think about, you bring about. And that really was the deal. You told me 3 times, you can't meet 5 new people at a Chamber of Commerce meeting with 200 people in the room. I pretty much guarantee you don't know all 200. And if you can't meet 5 people out of that crowd, you are correct. You can't network effectively in this location. And so she literally had a flip. We're incredibly good friends now, because she said, that changed me. And I said, well, you never know how God's going to use each of us to help someone else. But every time I hear, especially a lady, kind of like with you, Delinda, the Fun Fearless Female Global Community of Christian Women is you're helping ladies find their best out of themselves. I think about women from a standpoint of whatever's happened in your life, okay? Whatever's happened in your life and you've grown from it. Sometimes you've grown through it, and sometimes you've grown because of it. And so I have a heart for women to have that posture, and not necessarily your shoulders, because in one of my leadership trainings, I talk about posture has nothing to do with your shoulders. You walk into a room, and even if you were down like this, you still have that presence, that work the room kind of thing. Now, this, of course, is a little more magnetizing, I guess is a word. That'll kill our wordsmiths, but you're more of a magnet when you have that air of confidence, not cocky, because there's a fine line, but that air of confidence. Who is that? I want to meet her. And it's a magnet thing. And posture has nothing to do with your shoulders. It has to do with your attitude. Are you good at? I never say that. I say, tell me what you're great at. And it's a consistency thing. Think about what you're great at. I don't care what you're good at. I'm good at shoveling SNOW in a few minutes, but I am not great at it because I don't like it. And so what are you great at? And can you say consistently what you're great at? You're doing this, or you're great at, Grace here with us today is great at gratitude. She teaches people how to be grateful in the little things. She teaches people how to be grateful in the big things. She teaches people that gratitude is a daily, consistent opportunity to make yourself feel better and definitely make someone else feel better. And those are the kind of things that when we talk about what are you great at, consistently saying to someone, you're amazing. I learned so much from you. I had no idea how to do that before. I didn't realize it was this easy. What is the consistency piece of what you're able to offer to other people? So I wrote a few notes here. Think about the consistency part of your daily life, your prayer life. The first thing out of your mouth in the morning, thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day, whatever your praise piece looks like, your daily prayer journal, whatever you do, and first thing in the morning or whenever you do it. But think about your prayer life. Is that consistent? I have found that when Bible studies and praise music and all of those things are consistent, my day absolutely could not get any better. the blessings just abound. And I have found that to very seriously be true. Is your prayer life consistent? Your praise piece consistent? And the consistency word keeps coming back on every single aspect. Then I think about, just like when people have said, honey, that networking stuff you talk about, it really doesn't work. And I always say, I'd love to know your experience. And they say, well, I went to that Chamber of Commerce and I met no one. And that always makes me smile. You walk into a room and you anticipate people are going to walk up and say, can I buy your whatever it is? And I'm going, yeah, well, if that works for you, that's lovely. But it always cracks me up that they say that networking doesn't work. And it just rocks my world to hear that, because 14 years networking full time has changed my career life. Look at this screen. I would not know any of you if it wasn't for networking. And I am grateful forever for the consistency piece of showing up to as many events as I can, as often as I can, schedule permitting, of course. And the consistency of attendance for me is a very big part of my success journey. And let's talk about social media. This has been a year of change, 2021, as far as social media for me. I was talking in the group I was in just a minute ago about posting parties. I didn't know what a posting party was. And last year at this time, I went to my first one. I found it on the internet, random. I love that word. And I didn't know what it was. And when I find something that I don't know what it is, I try very hard to go, because I want to see what it is. And sometimes the answer is, I ain't never doing that again. And sometimes the answer is, holy moly, how can I get more of that? And in this particular case, it was, holy moly, how can I get more of that? And I didn't know what a posting party was. And for those of you on the call who don't know yet, the posting party is an opportunity to increase your organic traffic and your algorithmic reach. And the platform most people use for posting parties is LinkedIn, because that's where most business professionals hang out. Facebook is very kumbaya, look at my doggy, and LinkedIn is very, what is your business? What do you do? How can I help you do it better? And so every personality type picks a different platform. And as soon as I put that together, Instagram is very A. Reels, and an A personality just loves Instagram. A B personality, from a standpoint of business, loves LinkedIn, because everything is very professional, very consistent, etc. And so the N people, from a standpoint of nurturing, love what platform? Pinterest. And they also love Facebook. How's your dog? Let me see your family, that thing. Now, the knowledge people, a bank is one of the systems that I love, because I learned how to utilize the bank training that I received several years ago. And I use that in my daily life from a standpoint of observation and how to talk to people effectively. So the knowledge people, the Excel spreadsheet goes straight to Twitter. They also are very TikTok-esque, because that's up to the minute, learn, learn, learn. It's also very action personality, because those are the ones to do the video. But guess what? Within each of those platforms has to be consistency. So when I found what a posting party is, an opportunity to increase your traffic and your algorithmic reach, I absolutely went from, I don't know, 20 or 30 views on my post. I'm posting about Kangen water. These machines change lives. Never buy another chemical in your home ever again. And I'm posting all this fabulous, I thought, stuff. And I'd get 20 or 30 views, and 2 or 3 of my friends would go, honey, that's really a cute picture. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I figured that that's what LinkedIn does. It doesn't care about me and my company. And so I just assumed that's just the best you can do. At this posting party, I posted a picture of a dead plant, literally, and I won't narc on her necessarily, but my best friend has a gorgeous swimming pool, and she's got the most incredible landscape in the world. And outside her kitchen window was this. And I said, what on earth are we doing here? And she goes, oh, I keep forgetting to water the darn thing. Well, that window right there is her kitchen faucet. Hello, a sprayer. And I said, how often you're at your kitchen sink doing dishes and all the kids she's got going on, open up the little window, squirt the little thing, and voila, you've got water on that plant. Well, this is what it looked like. Cracked me up because we're swimming around this. Oh my gosh, like I say, her grounds are gorgeous, except for this thing. And I said, is it okay if I take a picture? And she goes, what are you going to do with that? And she goes, I don't care what you do. Yeah, just don't mention my name. Well, for a fee, I will. So private message me and I will send you her name. I posted this on this posting party. Never knew these people, didn't know any of them actually. And all I said was hydration is important, even for a plant. That's all I said. A few links, a few hashtags, water, hydration, contact me at miracleswithwater.org, whatever I said. That's it, post. And I put it in the chat for this posting party. 80 something people are on the call. And I just wanted to see what would happen. I've never been to one of these. I'm basically sitting back going, okay, this is fun. And I got 894 views on this puppy and 68 comments. And I didn't know what I was doing yet. And I thought, I got to figure this out, my friends. This is a dead plant that no one in the world would give a rip about. And this has gotten me more activity on my LinkedIn account than anything I've ever done before. And I thought, So then, of course, next week I go to the next one. I got to see if it's consistent in the results because it can't be. And I posted something else. Anyway, for having done this for a year now in different groups, and now, of course, I run several just because I love it. And I want people to be consistently achieving these types of results. Oh my gosh, explosion. Now, even right now, my record is 1,400 views and I think 94 comments, but that is not my norm. So consistency in posting on social media platforms is super duper important as well. And again, you can't imagine how unexpected this opportunity was. Accidentally, I find the posting party, didn't know what it was, wasn't even a member of the group that invited me. And I'm instantly going, And one thing led to another. And now I literally get to facilitate these. Now, I would never have realized how large the impact is on a posting party if I had not been invited to facilitate one tomorrow, actually, for the Public Speakers Association of India. What are the chances, my friends? Networking doesn't work. And now tomorrow, the Public Speakers Association of India has enlisted me to facilitate a posting party for their team. How is this possible? I am consistently attending events to help people and mention dead plants, and look what happened. So please remember, consistency is such a big deal. And when people say networking doesn't work, that breaks my heart. I am invested in networking and I absolutely love the results of networking. And I cannot imagine not networking. And people still feel that it is a fluke, random. You walk into a group and they buy 10 of your lipsticks or oils or whatever you do, and you think networking is a success. Then you go back, nobody buys anything. So what do? Stop networking. And I can't be an entrepreneur. I guess I'm not cut out for it. Oh my gosh. And it's back to that same drill. How often do you attend? How often are you visible? How are your skills at working the room, so to speak, and building relationships? I cannot imagine my daily, weekly, monthly life without my friends. Look at this, Fun, Fearless Female Global Community of Christian Women with Delinda Lane. I can't imagine my life without you guys. I can't. Networking has been the biggest fulfillment of a dream I didn't know I had because of consistently attending, consistently posting, consistently being visible, consistently participating when someone invites me. Now, is it always convenient? Holy moly, absolutely not. But I seriously find a way to get something accomplished or to reschedule. My schedule's a nightmare this week. I am so sorry. Is there any way we could postpone this till the end of February? If that doesn't work, I did miss that opportunity, but I have found in 14 years of doing this full time, at some point, I'll get another shot at being able to be with that group or that team or that organization. And it really seriously does work. Now, I feel the newsletter piece, a lot of people do newsletters for their companies. And I understand that. And I do one once a month with my water family. I do a water workshop once a month with my water family. All of those things consistently over the years continue to afford people an opportunity to ask questions. How do I this? Where do I something? All of those things have been consistently working for me 14 years. But it's back to the same drill. The timing is perfect only when the timing is perfect, which means you can invite. All of a sudden someone shows up and goes, I never knew this was here. And I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, 52 weeks in a year times 14 equals what? And that's how often I send out these newsletters. And now you're attending. Their timing wasn't right, in my opinion. It has to be consistent. What do you put on your calendar? You just wake up and look at your calendar and go, blank day. Holy moly, that would be like phenomenal. But all of a sudden you open your calendar and you've got 2 or 3 slots. What are you going to fill them with? I need to work on my blog. I need to add a new video to my YouTube channel. I need to reach out to a prospect, someone who showed interest last month, and I haven't heard back from him yet. Just checking in. Did you have any more questions? That's all you have to do. Oh yeah, actually I did have a question. Can you zoom for a second and show me how to? Absolutely. And so it's consistency. And it's always a funny thing to me that people say, oh my gosh, I just wish I could be you, which is pretty funny to me. But I always say, yeah, I bet you do. I'm an overnight success and it only took 14 years. And they think about that for a second and you can tell they're going, what? Right. Success is a journey. I don't think that we have arrived there yet. It's a journey. And just because we're blessed with the people that God puts in our paths every day, every month, every week, whatever that looks like for your schedule, consistency is so important. And I am blessed beyond measure with my network, my friends, and certainly the opportunities to speak. I appreciate this so much, Delinda. The opportunity for helping people with their YouTube channels, the opportunity for helping people with their posting parties, that opportunity for speaking to organizations who have, I hate to say lack, but leadership deficiencies maybe that they haven't grown into yet, just because they haven't been told. And it's back to that same drill. If we can help one person go from the beginning to middle at least, and realize that success is yours just for asking, it's the coolest thing in the whole world. And it's an opportunity for fulfillment times a million when all you have to be is consistent. And for me, consistency has paid off. My calendar, and some people have actually seen it when they go, let's check on what date. So I'm looking at it and they go, let me see that. And I show them and they go, my head just blew off. And I said, no, it really is manageable because I make sure consistently that I have a little time for this, a little relax, a little something, at least time to grab coffee for heaven's sakes. And so I make it consistency is very important, that I don't have a blank calendar. I'd go out of business if I had a blank calendar. I can't afford that. And so it's back to that same drill. If we are consistently in front of people, helping people, what do you need? How can I help your team? What does your organization need? Have you ever done one of these? Does this work for you? Are you great at YouTube? Have you figured out how to do all the nuances within LinkedIn yet? And they, what? And next time you have your group together, let me know and I'll be able to come in and speak for a few minutes and maybe boost up their views. Would that work for the algorithmic traffic? And all of that consistently goes. consistency is important on my schedule, in my prayer life, certainly for my business, and definitely for an opportunity to meet more people on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and see what I can learn from them, and more importantly, what I can give. So Delinda, back to you. If any of you have any comments or questions, I'd love to share with you, because consistency is a big word for me, and it's definitely my focus for 2022.
Oh, Cathy, thanks so much. You hit so many great areas. I mean, it really, because we are not, sometimes I think, we're separate pieces, but we're not, we are together. I mean, our mind, our mental, our body, our spiritual, we're one complete person. We can't just like take part of ourselves away. And so, and I think what naturally happens too is once you become more consistent in one area, you begin to realize the value and become more consistent in other areas. I think it's a little overwhelming to say, okay, I'm going to become consistent in all 6 areas of my life. I'm going to be the perfect, I am going to have this down. At least for me, I'll just say that. But I find that once I begin a journey in one part of my life, it begins to flow over, because I think we begin to live and feel the difference between the different areas. It's like, okay, so then I'll add a little of this. So I think our mind, our mental capacity works with us on that. So we begin to help ourselves. So just start what area is your most important place? Where would you most like to be more consistent? And so as a way, if you're trying to think, well, how can I change my life? How can I begin that? Would you agree with that, Cathy?
Absolutely. And what would happen if every time you post a video, regardless of the topic, one of the hashtags was #how-to, and then whatever the rest of it is, don't put it in the hashtag. And what would happen if the next hashtag was DIY? Because you're talking about how to train women to greatness. You're talking about do it yourself from a standpoint of learning how to send out cards. You're talking from a consistent standpoint, how to make your clients feel appreciated. And you're doing a consistent DIY. I would like to teach you how to set up a campaign so you push a button and send out cards to 500 people with one shot. And so every single time we were consistent with our hashtags, what does that do? Causes us to be more findable. How often do you go to YouTube? How do I something? So you're looking for a how-to video on how to sew on a button. Well, don't even ask for this, but if I'm sewing on a button, then I would put how to as the hashtag, because I'm going to show you how to sew. That's even too funny to say. I'm going to show you how to sew on a button, or even in the K room. Can you imagine that one? But literally it's a do-it-yourself something. And if you hashtag consistently, then now you're going to be findable in a different arena. So yes, Delinda, I think 1,000,000%. We can't go into, I'm going to be consistent in all 12, 6, 5 areas of my life. Right. I'm going to be consistency aware. Next time I do something, when I put something on my calendar, consistency is going to be in my brain that I need to put that on automatically for next week. Do you think it's an accident that our phones allow repeat? Consistency. You're doing an event today, which means you're doing it every single Tuesday at 3 o'clock, every single Wednesday at 5 o'clock, every single Thursday at 4 o'clock. And it says repeat. Never,
right.
Weekly, monthly, what? Do you think that's an accident? That is a genius opportunity for us to remember to be consistent. Prayer, walk, eat. I love it when I have said, I forgot to eat today. What is wrong with me? And of course, my brain, my Cathy Weaver brain is going, you forgot to what? But I don't have time sometimes. I forget to eat. And I know that sounds insane, but I do. I am so entrenched in the dynamic people I'm meeting. I forget to eat. And I just thought, oh my gosh. And sometimes I literally get 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I went, wow. And then I even have to say, did I? I don't know. All of these schedules have been bam, bam, bam all day long. I love those days.
Yeah.
I love those.
When you start getting a little headache, then it's like, oh, I must have forgotten to eat or drink my water, one of the other.
Oh my God. Well, I always have that. That's the good news. That's always.
You always have that.
So I never have to worry. Yes, I do. I can always get water down because I have to have it with me, but the consistency piece of everything we do is amazing.
It really is. Chiquita, any thought or a comment on how this hits you, where you are in your life right now? Hello, can you hear me?
She might not be able to come on.
Yeah, you have to unmute there, sweetie. So
Sorry, ladies. I'm
oh,
in a
there she
meeting.
goes. There you go. Oh, now we lost you again. Come back out. And I can't do it. It says I have to ask you. So you.
No, I think she's unavailable.
So she
What
must
about-
not. Okay.
what
So
about you?
Grace, what about you? I saw you shaking your head a lot.
Well, I think consistency is probably one of my favorites because I mark my calendar months out. And, just HMP. I mean, having those same meetings every week, same time, same place. I had one yesterday I always go to, and something came up and I went, oh, I can skip it. I went, no, I'm not. That is on my calendar. I can do that later. And you know what? I met two people that immediately connected with me and immediately did want us to do a one-on-one. If I had not gone, I would not have met those two people.
Right, right.
And it's all about consistency.
Mhm.
It really is. And I think just sometimes we forget, how important that is to, and putting those things, it's really visible when you put it on your calendar. When you can look at your week, whether you're still using a paper calendar, which I tend to want to go back to because I really like paper. I like my write things down. But when I look and I see this, like, oh, I don't have a blizzard here. This is good. Because no appointments is like having a blizzard. So you better do something about that, if you're wanting to move up your business.
So Linda, I would like to share, since you brought that up, think about your consistency with your Tuesday morning show. I'm sure we're very close to 5 years on that, for somewhere around there. I wish we could remember the dates, but you know how both of us are at remembering. Look at the consistency that you did when we were second Tuesday, fourth Wednesday, all of the different dates you had when we were meeting in person in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Look at the consistency you've been able to do with your fourth Fridays, your fourth Thursdays, all the dates that you've picked over the years for your Las Vegas meeting in person. And then you flip that back to now we're having Wow Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month, consistency in person. And I think that's a large piece of the success I have learned from you. So I think consistency has been a prevalent piece of your life, even though you may not have named it that yet.
Well,
I wanted to say thank you for that too, because I can schedule you when you are consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that does help the people who do come to our various events. If and that's what's great about having this in place. And we just finished January, but many people do begin to schedule out, for the year, what things. And I think we look at we have many choices. And just yesterday, I had someone reach out to me on a group that I was asked to be on the board. And I thought, oh, I really would like to be on the board of this particular thing. But they meet on the first Wednesday in our same time frame, a little bit later, but it couldn't. And it's like, this was my commitment. This was my priority already. So I had to say, we'll see what next year brings, another time or whatever. Obviously, it wasn't meant to be for this year. But part of, I think, the consistency, a little piece of that is when we're looking at what our priorities are and what are the things that are most important to us. It's like, well, if I have time, I'll go to this, or if there's nothing better that comes along, I'll go to that. Well, I don't want Fun Fearless Female, and I don't want Wow Wednesday to be one of those. I want like our lunches were in Kansas City, like our lunches now here in Vegas, that becomes the priority. This is on my calendar. And, if you want to meet with me, we're going to have to find another time, really making it. So it's, I think a piece that goes along hand in hand with consistency is also priority, to prioritize those things that are important to you and then be consistent with those. One other little thing. Go ahead. Yes.
I apologize. I wanted to chime in. I was in the middle of talking to my branch manager. It wasn't one of those good conversations with the branch manager, but I did want to first and foremost thank Cathy, because her Tuesday post made me go, okay, I need to do better with my social media piece. I'm really good with my nonprofit part, but I'm not good with my own. So definitely kudos to you for all the hard work and dedication that you put into the group and your presentations. Just definitely 5-star. And today was just that reminder that I am pretty good at networking in terms of I definitely do try to attend regularly. And to Delinda's point, I'm doing my 2022 calendar. Fun Fearless Females luncheon is in there because Shauna's event is actually Thursday night after our event. So I said, I'll just stay on that side of town. So definitely prioritizing your groups, attending regularly, being visible in the group, which is why whenever you ask me to participate at any level, whether it's a prayer, whether it's to do a show and tell, whatever you do, whatever you ask of me, I'm going to do so. Because I think when we as women of faith show up, we need to show up our best selves. And then your networking skills, how active are we? Sean is a perfect example. She needed me that day. I could see the look on her face. I really just wanted to rest. So I just committed, I'll just go over and I'll just give you an estimate. And I got there and I thought, you know what? God just said you need to help her. So thank you, Cathy, because I feel like the networking in-person piece, I can check all the marks off of that. My social media, not so grand. And I appreciate how you broke it down to the personality types, which ones appeal to. And I thought, why am I not on Twitter? Because Twitter is for knowledge-based people. So you made me really rethink that. So I am going to step up my social media because you said on Tuesday that we needed to do our 10-second video, our 10-second audio or video on our LinkedIn page, which I do not use my LinkedIn. So I'll definitely have to reach out to you for some help on that. But thank you, because you made my brain spin. I was taking copious notes while waiting for the branch manager to sort out my account. So kudos to you, and kudos to Delinda for always getting us such amazing speakers that help us elevate our business.
Thank you so much. Those words are very sweet music to my ears. And if it's okay with you, Delinda, we are having a posting party hosted by Dr. Laura Christine on Tuesday this next week. And I'm the facilitator for her event. So actually, Chiquita, that will be something we start from the very beginning. Your power statement, your audio message, your video message, and your own URL, all those things. We start from the very beginning, and then we teach you the efficacy of a posting party so that your reach will get bigger. Is it okay if I post that link in the chat?
Of course, absolutely. Those are so beneficial. I mean, they really are. And I so appreciate, Cathy, that you do that for so many people. You've done it for us. I think we probably should look at doing one in March. We can put on our Fun Fearless thing. But, you can go in and do a posting party, every month or every other week?
Absolutely. Yes, I have several groups. I do 2 a week for one group, and
2 a week?
Wow. And, for different portions of that group.
Oh, good.
But yes, and so it really is a phenomenal opportunity to get the word out, but also to make sure when somebody comes to your home, what do they see? When somebody comes to your profile, what do they see? Is that the piece of you that you want them to see, or is it not dusted and tweaked as you wish it was? So those are some of the things that we work on.
And I think one thing too, Cathy, that you point out a lot in how important it is that what is your message? Yours is Cathy Weaver Kangen Water. Okay, that is, you'll say it exactly what it is. But everything from your Facebook page to LinkedIn to your business card to everything you do carries, and it's branding. We know that's what that is, but very few people carry it through on all the forms. Your website, everything should reflect who you are and what you want people to know about you. And I know you talk about that a lot too, that your LinkedIn page, for a while, my LinkedIn page did not, because I just didn't really care about LinkedIn too much. I just kind of put it there because somebody said I should. And then a few years ago, it's like, okay, I probably should take this LinkedIn pretty seriously. And now part of the, the happy network, it's like, okay, LinkedIn is becoming more and more valuable. So finding those resources too, to do that. Okay, bye, Grace. And I did get a picture earlier, so yeah, I remembered. So just to reiterate that to everybody, that how important it is that you're sending the same message in all of your media, whatever that is for you.
Absolutely. What do you want to be known as or for? And if people have to dig for it, the attention span's about 2 or 3 seconds. So they're not going to dig.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, we are at the top of the hour. And then since we all have decided that we're going to keep these to our 1 hour, this is great. Cathy, thank you again. You are audacious. Thank you. Chiquita, thank you for doing it, listening and trying to work it around your other stuff. Everybody just go out, and if you're listening to this later as a repeat, just remember that life is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. Choose to be consistent and find out how many more blessings you receive and how much greater your success can be. Bye now. Thanks so much.
Thank you.